Beautiful day, freezing though. We got bits of snow, guys. God, it's cold. Woolly jumper day. Woolly jumper day. Well, welcome back to Life on Cars. I can see my breath. It's cold in here today, but anyway, we've been pressing on with quite a lot of the winter jobs, and I've been putting some videos together for you guys. So what's today's video all about? Well, while I've got the front of the Jag up and I've been doing various things, one of the things that I thought would be good to show you guys is the common earth points which can be affected by corrosion on the Jaguar and cause electrical problems. So there's two earth points that we're going to look at on today's video. The second one on my car, which I'm going to show you, needed repair. But the first one looks okay. So come on, let's get into this one and I'll show you all about the common earth points which can potentially cause problems on the Jaguar X150. Let's go. So the first one I want to talk about, we're underneath the driver's side front wheel arch, and this is the earth point that you're looking for here. There's basically a bolt which goes through a couple of like an eyelet, like an earth connection for two wires, and we want to have a good scrape around that and just make sure that that's looking secure and it's not corroded away. So you can see on there I've scraped around mine and I'm just having a bit of a look, and I'm going to get my fingers on the back of the cable and just give it a bit of a jiggle and make sure that that's nice and sound. Now on my car it appears that that is good. So that's the first earth point there that you want to be having a good scrape around and a good look at. So it's just near it's where the flexi hose bolts onto the chassis. There is just to the right of that a bolt, and I don't know if you can just make out there's a couple of, I'll bring the camera in a bit in a minute, but there's basically two earth cables which are earthed onto the body there. So now that mine's all cleaned off and I've had a little bit of a scrape around it and I'm happy with it for now, there's no point in disturbing it if you think it's strong and it's looking okay. I'm going to put a bit of wax oil over the top of that now just to protect it, but before I do that, let me bring the camera in. So that might be a slightly better angle for you to see it there. So it's this bolt here, and you can see there's two cables that are going to that, which are earth cables. So yeah, like I say, if you've got problems, electrical problems, this is a good one to check. Driver's side wheel arch, two cables, get your finger behind it and just give it a bit of a wiggle and make sure that those wires aren't going to snap off this terminal here. And if it's looking sound, if there's any muck around here, clean it off. If it's all sound, I would recommend putting a spray of grease over here or some wax oil or something just to protect it. So that's what I'm going to do now. There we are. There's a coating of wax oil over that now. So if you have been unfortunate enough to be having electrical problems and you suspect that it is something to do with this earth connection here, or maybe you put your finger behind this wire and it breaks off because it's corroded, and you need to take this bolt out to repair. What might happen if you're unlucky is this bolt might snap. Now, if that bolt does snap, you do have a couple of options. You could put a new repair this, put a new terminal on it, on the cables, a new ring terminal, and then try and locate it here. So rather than messing around trying to take another bolt out, like that one there, which could snap off, what I would do is I would give this metal here on this brake pipe bracket a really good sand down, so you've got bright silver metal on here, and then I would bolt the new terminal onto here with a nut and bolt. That's the way I would deal with it if I had a problem with the earth connection here, if this fell to bits. So the second one, which is worth looking at, is this earth strap that goes from the body. So I'm still on the driver's side front, I'm just behind the wheel. You can see the gearbox there, and you can see where the exhaust is coming down, the big catalytic converter here on the right hand side of the vehicle. And we have this earth strap here that bolts to the body, and then the other end bolts to the gearbox. Now, the last time I had my head underneath the car, I noticed this and I wasn't too happy with it. And I'm back under here again doing the video on the subframe, and I'm not happy with this either. This is quite badly corroded, this earth lead. It's what's known as a braided earth lead, and you can see there it's not in very good condition, and you can see bits falling off it when I touch it. See that? It's falling to bits, this. So I'm going to change this out. So we'll probably see when we get it off, but it's not good at all, this. It's at the end of its life. So it looks like it's bolted in at the gearbox at that end, and it's bolted to the chassis here, and there's a little clip which is holding the wire for the lambda sensor, which we need to release. So I'll do that now. There we go. That just gets the release that wire off. There we are. So I'll leave that out of the way. Now let me find out what size sockets these are. And the gearbox end is a 13mm. So we'll get this cable off and we'll have a look what it's like properly on the bench. I think it's one that's definitely worth swapping out. Okay, so this end on the chassis is a 10mm. If you're going to have a go at doing this yourself, have a peer through that hole there, because you will see the stud, and you can give that a blast of WD-40, and fingers crossed it'll wind out. Wish me luck. Okay, that's quite tight. So it's going to need the old forward and backwards. Well, that didn't go to plan. The bloody nut snapped off. But it's a captive nut that goes behind the chassis. But luckily, there's a hole here, which means, and it was basically riveted in with 2 rivets. So you can probably make out what I've done there. I ground the heads off the rivets, and I've removed the captive nut. And now I can just put a nut and bolt through there. As you can see, I've cleaned off the aluminium chassis with the grinder. So yeah, I'll just have to nut and bolt that, and then once it's all bolted up and nice and tight, I'll just put a bit of spray over there, or a bit of wax oil or something, just to protect that. But yeah, so yeah, unfortunately it snapped off. There's the offending article. So it was basically, that was inside the box section, and it was that end that bolted through with the earth lead and snapped off, and you can see there it's just a captive nut that's riveted on the side of the chassis. The same old story, steel bolt into an aluminium captive nut, got no chance. Not after this length of time anyway. The things just fused together. I even tried to take it out there. I mean, you could, there is other options if you wanted to reuse this. You could drill those rivets out. You could cut that off, drill that out, and then you could actually reinstall that and re-rivet it if you want to. But I don't think that's, to be honest, I don't think there's any need to chew on like that. The hole's already there in the chassis, so it's just going to get nut and bolt through. Yeah, the bolt that was going through there anyway was only a little piddly bolt. It was kind of like that before. So I'm planning on putting a nice big bolt through from the inside of the chassis and through the eyelet, so it'll actually have a much stronger connection anyway, as you'll see when I show you the new one fitted. So there's a couple of stickers on it. One says warning, one-time use only. New lead must be fitted if disconnected from body. Well, I'm definitely going to be changing this because it's absolutely goosed. Look at that, guys. It's absolutely falling to bits. So you can see it's a copper braided earth lead. And I've seen this a long time ago when I used to be a Toyota mechanic. There was a couple of Toyotas used to have this similar thing, and they used to fall to bits. And then you get breakdowns where the vehicle wouldn't start because there wasn't a decent earth to the starter motor. But yeah, I mean, if I do that, it's going to snap off that. You can see the cable's gone. Right, I've just been and picked that up, so if you're interested, there's the part number, C2C 8864. Yeah, not too bad. I mean, you can get these braided earth leads from other places, but at this price, you might as well get the right one that fits the car. So yeah, £18.30 plus the VAT, £21.96, and yeah, it'll be peace of mind. So let's get this fitted. So I'm going to connect the gearbox one back in first, just into there. I managed to reuse the plastic tie wrap that came from the factory, so I can it just holds that lead there for the lambda sensor, so we'll be able to put that back in. There's the gearbox one nipped up. Let's put this cable back in there. So you can see what I've done here at the other end. I've basically gone through this hole here and put a new bolt through the chassis. So I'm going to pop the earth lead onto there and secure that with a nylock, and then once it's all bolted up, I'll just spray a bit of paint on that bare aluminium there just to protect it and stop any oxidization, and that should do the job. So it's lucky that there was a hole here in the chassis so you can get in to the back of the bolt if yours snaps off. So there we are, that's a nice new bolt and nylock through there. That's actually a thicker stud that I've used there than the original, so we'll probably even get a bit of better grounding on there as well. So all I'm going to do now is I'm just going to put a bit of grey paint over here and the stud just to protect it. Just while I'm under here, if you do decide to do this job, just this this lambda sensor cable here that connects onto this strap on the new earth cable. Just want to show you how it should be properly routed, so you don't want it anywhere near the cat. And if you look, there's a little clip on the heat shield up there which mine had popped out of. So yeah, that's where that should be. That should be clipped against that heat shield, and then obviously clipped onto the braided earth strap to keep that well away from the catalytic converter. Okay. And there we are. Finished article. A little bit of grey paint just over there. Well, there you go then. Hope you enjoyed that one, guys, and got something out of it. If you did, please give us a thumbs up and give us a like and subscribe if you haven't already done so. If you've not subscribed yet, why not? Come on, get yourselves together. Please, it does help build the channel if you subscribe, and it helps me keep the content coming. And yeah, so get that subscription button pressed if you haven't already done so. But I'll be back soon. As you've probably noticed on some of the shots today, we've got the Jag up in the air on the front, and we're working through some winter jobs. So there's plenty more coming very soon on Life on Cars. Gonna have to stay warm, stay safe, watch out for those icy roads. If you've got snow and ice wherever you are in the world, we certainly have it here at the moment in the northeast of England. So yeah, take care, stay safe, and I'll see you very, very, very soon on Life on Cars. Bye bye now, take care.